Hello everyone and welcome back to Dark Souls Easy Mode. So, last time we found this one large titanite shard. Now I also have some chunks, but they're no use to me yet, so the large shards are really, I guess, what I'm after, quote unquote. I don't believe there's any way to farm these at this point of the game. But we found that one, which is a guaranteed drop. I'm just going to kill these slimes. They might have an actual name, but I'm just going to call them slimes. Okay, they can actually drop green titanite shards, which you use for a different upgrade path, basically. But also not something I'm really interested in right now. I am, however, going to go and upgrade one of my weapons to +6. I'm not entirely sure if it's going to be the longsword or the Zweihander yet. I'll make up my mind eventually. And there you could see the real benefit of having poise. That undead, hollow, whatever their actual name might be, he hit me. But my attack was not interrupted, just like the dog here. It didn't interrupt my attack. And that's the effect that poise has. Also note how I'm regaining a slight amount of HP every time I kill an enemy. Whoa, 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 whoa. The effect is usually not that large, and apparently if you kill enemies simultaneously, you only get the effect from one of them, unless I just saw that wrong, but it looked to me like I killed two guys and only got one heal. Anyway, point is, it's not a massive effect, but it can, you know, reduce the requirement of, why would I say requirement? It can reduce the need to use Estus a little, so it's nice. The reason I'm showing you this, by the way, is because when I first played the game, and I was eventually down in the sewers, I didn't really know exactly how I was meant to get out of them again, so I figured I might as well put that on camera once to show you how to go about it. So long. Now he could actually drop a longbow, so I'm just checking he didn't. Okay. There is a longbow which is guaranteed to, which it's just a guaranteed find, which I'm going to get eventually. But if I get one for free here, that wouldn't be the worst of things, basically. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for the Zweihander as my weapon of choice to upgrade to +6. I did buy the upgrade smith box at the blacksmith. I keep going to the wrong screen here. It's the weaponsmith box, that's what it's called. Which allows me to upgrade weapons at a bonfire. But I can only do upgrades, not weapon ascension. What that means is... Whoa, 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 whoa. That lock-on feature is a little dangerous sometimes, because it might not log on to the enemy you actually want to log on to, so that didn't help me there. So the way the game considers it, +0 to +5 are just normal upgrades. Let me actually see if Lord Trek is back. I don't think he will be, but you never know. Oh, he is. Very nice. Okay, so I am still going to show you the event that that's going to happen with him. It's something that happens accidentally to a lot of new players, so I figure if someone has already done it by accident, it's nice to show them how to solve it. But what you can do is basically you stand just like I'm standing right now, and then you perform a kick, which is forward and R1. Which, you know, I've messed up these kick and jump things quite a few times, but yeah. You basically kick him twice, so he drops to his death. Well. And then you quit the game and reload to get his drops, because there's a very good ring that he drops. But aside from that, I think actually, does he offer me something?
Well.
No. Oh, he did say something different.
Our future.
Okay, he just doesn't want me to be too friendly. Fair enough, fair enough. Eventually you can give him some souls and he'll give you some information that's somewhat relevant. Anyway, back to upgrade paths. So +0 to +5 is just normal upgrading. But going from +5 to +6, the game considers that a different upgrade path. And to change from one upgrade path to another, requires reinforcing at the blacksmith. Not reinforcing, ascending at the blacksmith. So reinforcing, so for example from +2 to +3. You can do that using the smith box by yourself. Ascending from +5 to +6 or from +5 to divine, anything like that. You do need the blacksmith for that. You cannot do it at a bonfire by yourself. And so the next area of the game contains, well, it contains enemies which you can farm for large titanite shards. Now, if you already got the one from the sewers and do what I'm doing now, which is upgrading a weapon to +6, then you can just stay in that new area up and farm enough shards, large shards, to get from +6 to +10, which you can then do by yourself at the bonfire. If you didn't upgrade a weapon to +6, then to get a +10 weapon, you would definitely need the blacksmith. So I'm basically getting the blacksmithing out of the way now, because the backtracking you would have to do at a later point would be worse.
Why not?
So first he wants the large ember. Generally because I've heard some people misunderstand this, essentially. Each ember you find in the game has exactly one blacksmith who wants it. So if he says, please give me that ember, there is no benefit at all to saying no. It's not like you cannot give all the embers to one blacksmith so he has all the abilities. Each ember has one specific blacksmith, which is the only one who can use it, and there is no reason at all to ever give not give an ember to a blacksmith. There's no benefit to it. There's nothing else you can do with them, basically. Okay, so what you want to do is modify equipment, and he offers a variety of options at this point. He could go to raw weapons. Raw weapons have higher base damage, but much weaker scaling, as you can see. So I would only suggest this if you're running a very low level character. So if you do not intend to ever level up the character to any significant degree. And even then, raw weapons will only be useful early game, because standard upgrade paths go to +15, and they will be superior to even a fully upgraded raw weapon. And then you can also go from +5 to +6, as I said. As far as the game's concerned, that's a different upgrade path. And because we've already given him the Divine Ember, he could also make Divine weapons, but you need green Titanite shards for that, which we don't have. And once we've ascended the Zweihander to +6, he's also able to revert it back to +5. You might want to do this if, for example, you've upgraded a weapon to be fire, but you now need it to be magic. And then you could go back from fire to +5, and then use the +5 to ascend it back into the magic path. Yeah. Let me also see if there's any repairing to be done. There is a little. Equipment doesn't break that fast in this game, but it's still a good idea on occasion to just go and fix it all. I don't have enough souls to do anything else here, so yeah. I think I rested at Firelink Shrine, so yeah. Actually, something which I meant to mention, which I sadly didn't, is at Firelink Shrine, I wouldn't have needed to rest. I didn't actually encounter any particularly difficult enemies. I don't know, I just wasn't thinking. It's like, I was at Firelink, so I decided to rest. If I hadn't, I could have now used a homeward burn to make the run back, well, quite short, but... Doesn't matter, we can always just take the elevator back down and just do it manually. I mean, we've unlocked a fair amount of shortcuts, so getting back to the sewers isn't that difficult. And this way at least you see the path that you would take without using homeward bones. And it hasn't been an issue yet, but just in case... Oops, almost hit him, but it's fine. If you land on someone, you do a bit of damage. That shouldn't be enough to aggro him. Anyway, he'll probably complain, but it should be okay. I realized that some of the things I'm showing here are considered cheesing by other players, and I'm trying to show people ways to make the game easy you know, for players who might be a little worried about the difficulty of the game, who might think they couldn't handle it otherwise or whatever. The point is not to show super advanced gameplay, so there are tricks that can make certain sections easier, but they might be difficult to pull off. And there's one thing which can be used quite frequently to make enemies reset, which is quitting and reloading the game. I don't like doing that, so again, it's just something I won't show. This is essentially my bag of tricks of how I handle certain situations. It's not meant to be the ultimate guide for all the ways to make the game easier, and neither is it meant to be some sort of legit way of playing the game according to whatever bogus definition some people have for that. So I know some of the tricks I've shown you, there are people who will say, ugh, that's so cheap, that's so bad, don't do that, it's silly, it's dumb, whatever, or it's bad, or you just need to get good, or whatever the elitist morons in the community say. In case you're thinking about writing a comment along those lines, please don't. And in case anyone is worried about, oh, if I do this people will think I'm bad, well, so what? The point of these games is not to be super difficult. And there's no reason to avoid doing something just because someone at some point decided that this is the cheap way of doing it. It's like summoning for gargoyles, which I've seen a few first-time playthroughs on Twitch, where they summoned for gargoyles, and someone in their chat said that that was just such a poor thing to do, and really newbie, and, you know, don't do it and such. I don't believe that there's any reason why someone shouldn't be allowed to summon help for a difficult encounter. To my mind, there's no justification telling a new player that he shouldn't do something just because someone else thinks that it's cheap. Yeah, there's people have different tricks which they think are fine, and others which they think aren't fine. and this is basically the set of tricks that I know and think are fine. As I said, there's some things I don't show you because I don't like them personally, but if you find a certain trick helpful, there's no reason at all why you shouldn't use it. One thing I would object to is if you're playing online and just plain cheating. That I find in bad taste because it affects the gameplay experience of others, not just your own. But, and there we go. I'm wondering. Okay, I'll push my strength to 24. Yeah, I think I'm just saying, play the game as you like. If you think a certain trick shouldn't be used, then don't use it. And if you think a certain trick is fine, then feel free to use it. And try not to have a community which is incredibly elitist and incredibly hostile tell you how to play the game properly. Because as long as you're having fun and enjoying the game, you are playing it properly. And I have never enjoyed how much parts of this community hate on everyone who is doing things differently from them. Let me just see, I think it's one level lower, what I'm looking for. Yep. As I've mentioned before, by the way, we're about to encounter the boss of this area. Actually, there's one thing I wanted to show you first. Sorry, I'm being a little random here. So, there's a merchant here. And he sells gold pine resin. I'm just going to buy 2 of them. I don't know how many he sells. I believe it's a limited quantity.
Thank you. That was a fine tree. I have it.
Okay, this is no longer a fast roll. If I unequip the gloves, still not a fast roll. Okay, so we're gonna have to go completely naked. Oh well, it'll be fine. I hope. It might not be. Anyway, yeah, my primary point is don't let others tell you how to play the game, especially in a game where this whole "oh, you just need to get good" kind of thing is basically something that people seriously say. Incidentally, you can summon for this boss fight. I would advise against it, because it really doesn't help much. It hinders you because it gives the boss additional HP and defense, but these summons aren't very useful. You can summon Night Lautrec and Night Solaire. They almost always die though, so as I said, I wouldn't advise summoning them. Okay, let's get the gold pine resin and traverse the white light. I'll actually leave this cutscene in because it's quite a cool boss reveal, I find. Yeah, just I like it, so I'm going to leave it in, basically. Because when I first saw this, I thought, oh, it's going to be some kind of crocodile thing. But then the vagina dragon climbs out, and it is definitely not a crocodile. Okay, so what we want is for him to smash his head down like that. And then we want to get out of the way of that charge attack. Ugh. Pressed the wrong button, accidentally changed weapon. Okay, come on, slam your head down again. No, that's not slamming your head down, now is it? Essentially, he takes bonus damage after he does that, but afterwards he also does that charge attack thing. And yeah, I accidentally changed weapons which unapplied the pine resin buff. Wow, that was easier than I thought. You can get a tail cut on him with a lighter weapon that will take longer. You do not want to get run over by that, but there's plenty of time to dodge it basically, so that's actually quite an easy to avoid attack. And also once you've gotten a tail cut, it's actually safe to stay behind him. Because, yeah, see? That was meant to be a tail attack, but since I've cut his tail, he can't really do that. Okay, come on, slam your head down. No, that's not head slamming your head down, now is it? Go on. Still not slamming your head down there. Okay, that was not a good location. And that was not a good distance. Ow, 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 ow. Yeah, the charge attack has a bit of a wonky hitbox where it also hits you from the side. It pays off to be a little careful there. And it also pays off to know the distance from the boss. Okay, slam down, please. No, slam down, not fly up. Come on. That's not what I like to see. Neither is that. Come on. Ugh. When he does that, keep your distance, run away. He's about to vomit. And you really don't want that on you. It basically causes equipment degradation. It breaks your stuff when he vomits. Okay, let's wait for another charge attack and then I should be able to finish him. There we go. So yeah, ideally, I mean you can use other openings. I've just shown you the easiest one. Keep a little distance, but ideally stand in front of him. So he does his head slam attack, where the tiny little clitoris thing is on the ground, and then hitting that does bonus damage. Again, gold pine resin would be useful. What I did accidentally, instead of changing from the gold pine resin to the Estus flask, I accidentally also, because the Xbox D-pad isn't the best, I accidentally did this, which basically changed from my weapon to the Pyromancy Flame, and that caused the buff to go away. Okay, we got some stuff and a Blight Town key, and that key is what we kind of needed to proceed. I'm going to go back to the bonfire. It's not very far, so I'm not going to use a homework bone. Oop. And we are going to upgrade endurance a little. I feel somewhat naked. But yeah, I now have enough strength to wield the Zweihander one-handed, but I would suggest when you go with this weapon, probably better to use it two-handed. The moveset is a little bit faster. And that's the R2. Kind of nice. Using it one-handed consumes less stamina, but the swings are quite slow. And the R2, very similar to the two-handed moveset, just I feel slower. Oh, endurance up to 20, that's good. Now, I'm thinking, before going any further, I actually want a specific ring. I think I'll show you how to get that next episode, so we won't continue yet. We'll have to do a run back to Firelink again. but I will skip the actual running bit, and next time we'll see each other probably at the Undead Parish bonfire. So I hope this was a helpful episode, and I'll see you again next time. Bye bye.